Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. It is Tuesday morning, August the 27th. Rise and shine, rise and shine. This is Coffee Talk. We get together 7 days a week, chat about what's going on in the world of weather, hopefully get you off on the right notes, at least updated on the weather, if nothing else. I'm WESH 2 First Warning Meteorologist Eric Burris. Thanks for joining us. We do this about every day at 8 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes the cell phone stinks, like yesterday. Sometimes you feel like a nut. Sometimes you don't. All right. Here's a live look outside. Good morning. Good morning. Look how pretty that is. Yep, we're in downtown Orlando checking things out. Let's head over to Lake Eola, see how things are down there. There we go. Oh, man. We're looking back over toward. That's my old building. I used to live there. Back in a younger day. I used to live in that building right there. Beautiful pool. Watch the fireworks from there. Yeah. Anyway, it's pretty. It's pretty, right? Let's head over to the Orlando International Airport Tower Cam, see what's doing. Yep, flights having no issues. Port Canaveral. See how we're. Oh, the sun is shining down. It's gorgeous, isn't it? New Smyrna Beach. We'll pop over there. You'll be my last stop. It's pretty. It's a pretty morning. I hope you're having a great start, friends. I really, really do. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. First warning live, Doppler radar scanning around, checking things out. And yeah, we've got a couple of showers. Let me zoom in here along the shoreline, see what's doing. Kind of see some heavy rain. Trying to work over toward Kennedy Space Center. A couple other showers off the shoreline there of Volusia County. Temperatures out the door mid and upper 70s. Not too bad. Forecast today with a little bit of rain here or there this morning. We'll get into storms this afternoon. Temperatures climbing to about 91 and up to about a 50 or so percent coverage of showers and storms. Here's a look at temperatures around town today. Low to mid 90s, kind of the idea of it, right? Yeah, it's going to be a nice one. It's going to be a very normal pattern. Late summer. Let's check in on Futurecast, see what's doing today. 8 o'clock this morning. Futurecast doing a great job of picking up on those showers, right? If I do say so myself. Let's track it through time. 9, 10 o'clock, those coastal showers increasing in coverage by 11, 11:30, 12 o'clock. I'll see you on WESH 2 News at noon today tracking it. And then from about 1, 2, 3 o'clock, it's marching inland. We'll get into some of those thunderstorms. 4 p.m. storms move out west. 5, 6 o'clock, literally over on the west coast. And then afterward, just kind of clearing on out. So not bad. Not bad. When we look at the rain coverage for today, we start with the coast, and then it kind of works inland afterwards. So really the best coverage of rain inland and our western areas. All right. So that's kind of where we're at today. Questions about today, otherwise we can move on and see what's doing. Questions. Blue Goose over on YouTube says, good morning from a rather warm and very humid St. Augustine. Was just there this weekend. Loved it. The pattern doesn't break down, by the way. 7-day forecast showing decent coverage of showers and storms the next couple of days. Of course, Monday is Labor Day. What? Isn't that the unofficial end of summer? Are we already there? Is that a thing? What do we refer to Labor Day as? Here's the weekend forecast. What is Labor Day known for? I understand the labor movement, but don't we call it like the unofficial end to summer? Isn't that? I know the labor. I just Googled it, but isn't that like right? Debbie says it's a thing. Unofficial end to summer, right? Unofficial end to summer, which is like wild. Mine is frozen but getting feed. Why is it? I have had so I'm on my home internet today. So if you're having a freezing deal, I have dropped 0 frames. It is not me. It is you. And actually, I figured out a way. I used to do it and I didn't need to do it for a while, so I'm going to start doing it again. I've got a better way when I'm out away from when I'm broadcasting via cell phone. Hold on, Labor Day, I'll come back to you. When I'm broadcasting Coffee Talk via cell phone, I used to run it through WESH and it was fine. And then I started just doing it all in the car for ease of use, and it's not fine. So I'm going to start doing it out of Wesh again when I'm remote. So I think we'll be good. I think we'll be good via cell phone coffee talk again. My apologies for not having the perfect broadcasts. Wendy says it's not you, it's me. That was what I always said when I would end relationships younger in life. I'd be like, no, 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 it's not me, it's you. Yeah. Lauren says today is fine. Yesterday wasn't good. And I have a thing that worked back in the day. It's gonna work again. I need to do it. All right. Back to Labor Day. All right, because of course the holiday is here. The unofficial end. Yeah. 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 Yep. 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 Good times. Cannot believe it. Cannot believe it. But fall is still not quite here. The official start to fall. 26 days. September the 22nd. The average high is 89. It's not like it's going to get cold here. Yep. James says Thursday evening, UCF football season starts. Hoping to avoid our traditional 2-hour lightning delay. Yeah, I would agree. That's my goal as well, ironically. So, we've locked and loaded this football forecast for days and days and days. I put it together a week ago. Shall we look at the UCF forecast? Which is so funny. So last year, I was told by some of the athletic director staff that they would get me a new image for the background. I have yet to do that, so I need to connect with them. But here it is, and it's got the American logo, so I'm not a fan. But I digress. Here's the forecast. I'll get a new version. I'll get a new version of the background for the new graphics. I will. I will. But anyway, Thursday, we're going to be watching for some storms, man. I mean, that's just the reality of things. Let's check in on Futurecast, all right, and see where we're at. I'm going to go into the longer Futurecast. What is today? Tuesday? We should. All right, so we'll have it. Okay. All right. Look. Okay. Night fans, lunchtime rain. Okay, if that holds true, we're going to be good. Like maybe I need to change the forecast. I'm changing the forecast. Hold on. Sausage being made. Storms move west. And then 7 p.m., comfy breeze. There you go. Oh, I need to change the icon. Mostly sunny. All right. There it is, y'all. There it is. Can you see that zit? Oh my God. I'm like 16 again. Now, temperatures. Hold on. Let's look at Futurecast temperatures. Let's fully change this. Where are you? Where are you? Temps. 5 p.m. 90 and 83. Is that about what we had? That doesn't look like it's changed much. 89 and 80. Okay. All right. So there you go. There you go, y'all. Night fans. There's the forecast. Love that for us. James says that's a beautiful sight. I like it. Anybody else going to the game? I'll be there. I'll be there. On Wednesday, so tomorrow is our Wear Your College Colors Day at Wesh, and I don't believe I'm working on air tomorrow. My shift tomorrow. So I'm doing the noon and 4 today. Ah, perfect. So tomorrow I'm working on graphics. I'm not working on the air, which means I will be wearing a UCF Golden Knights. I got to go retro. So Golden Knights Columbia shirt. Good times. And this pattern kind of keeps things early. So Taylor's asking about Friday high school football. Futurecast doesn't go out that far, but I would suspect that it would be the same kind of pattern. Yeah. And, when we look at the 7-day forecast, it keeps things nice and early. So you got to love that. Yeah. There are storms around, but it looks good. Okay. Questions, comments, concerns before we move on? We got a lot to talk about in the tropics. Want to make sure our local forecast is handled first. And by the way, Jeremy and I will be talking on Tracking the Tropics today. We will be discussing all things tropical as well. We're going to get into it now, but we're going to get more into it. UCF, you like bottles thrown at you? I have no idea that reference. No idea. Let's see here. All right. Questions going once, going twice, and sold. All right. So out to the tropics we go. Not much doing out here right now. There's a cluster of activity out in the open Atlantic that has been tagged as an area of interest from the National Hurricane Center. Okay. Essentially, over the next couple of days' time, there is some slow development potentially. Nothing in the short term. But in the long term, there is a 20% chance of development. Roberto, we're going to show him. You know. And Elliot, love it. Love it, baby. Love it. Okay. All right. So, low chance of tropical development. So, let's do this. Let's look at the computer models. And for those of you that are new to Coffee Talk, we really do deep dives just about every day during hurricane season. All right, so rolling through, and at least the operational GFS isn't doing much with this area of interest. There's something like around South Florida on September 2nd. Yeah. Has really, really, really backed off. Firing something up off the coast of the Carolinas there September 7th. Firing something up around the southeastern United States. There's the Gulf of Mexico. That's September 8th, right? You see September 8th across and then off of the shoreline there. Really racing quickly, but kind of a disturbed area of weather around September 8th. But that's it. Now, if we were to go back a model run, it didn't really do much. If we go back 2 model runs on, this is the GFS. See how this version of the GFS put a hurricane together and then like a little something in the Gulf of Mexico around September 9th. If we go back 3 model runs, put something together in the Gulf of Mexico, right? Now, I would just add that as we're discussing this, we have to refer back to our long-range hurricane season forecast, and this part of the pattern absolutely does show at least a signal historically for a Gulf Coast threat. September 3rd through the 10th is what we put on our long-range hurricane season forecast. Of course, the June and the July versions did not do anything significant in these areas, but there were impacts, right? September 3rd through the 10th, and we are watching in this window. If we come back and just kind of watch September 3rd through the 10th, I'll go back to the current version and watch the Gulf of Mexico here, right in here, right? An area of low pressure around September 8th. It's not going with anything significant, but there's something there, okay? So that's the GFS. Let's go to the operational European. We'll go to the basin view. I'll bring it full screen. You don't need to see my noggin here. Really nothing there through the 60. Something out in the Caribbean. Something very, very weak out in the Caribbean. Couple of things out in the Caribbean, but nothing, nothing significant. But if we go from the 0Z to the 12Z yesterday, like there's clearly that was yesterday. You see something significant near Puerto Rico, But if we go to the 0Z, it's a very weak signal. Okay, so that's the European. If we come over to the Canadian, because why not? The Canadian is trying to develop something, but it brings it out over the tropical graveyard, essentially, all the Caribbean islands. But that's September 6th, something around the Turks and the Caicos Islands there. So there's something there. All right. Yeah. So that's the Canadian. Do we have anything else? The icon. We can look at the icon. The icon. We don't need to. All right. Let's switch over. Look at the ensembles now. While I'm getting this set up, the ensemble members. When we discuss ensemble, so you looked at the European, you looked at the GFS, you looked at the Canadian. Those are what we refer to as the deterministic models, just the operational model. One, here's the GFS. But what's beautiful is you can then go inside the GFS and say, I want to see you play the exact same data 30 different ways. And so the ensembles are essentially 30 versions of the GFS. And this is these are the individual ensemble members. Now, looking at this makes your eyes go cross-eyed. So what I always like to do is I like to overlay them on top of each other. And basically, it tries to determine and give you where the lower pressure locations are, where the higher pressure locations are, that sort of thing. So let's just roll through here. And we're starting to see some ensemble support kind of getting near the Windward Islands. You see that 983 low, that's support for something, right? There's a good cluster there. And what we end up with is a pretty significant signal east of us, but there are some ensemble members over Florida or over into the Gulf of Mexico. So even though the operational model is kind of backing off, the ensemble members are still saying that there's something here. Okay, and the overall great confidence, if you look at all the L's, this is kind of like all things flattened, but you got the L numbers. All things considered, most of the ensembles are keeping lowered pressure east of us, right? I like this view because it really pops. But there's still ensemble support for development, and it could be from the Gulf of Mexico twice. So this is definitely something that we need to watch, right? That first, like September 4th through the 10th, we'll say, which, big surprise, September 4th through the 10th. We're highlighting September 3rd through the 10th on our long range forecast for the next part of this weather pattern. Where it'll go, we'll see. We're just forecasting kind of broad strokes when we put out our long range forecast, but there is some ensemble support of something. So we need to keep that in mind. So that's the GFS ensemble. Let's go back to the basin view and let's reset this over to the European. Oh, I hit the wrong button. European ensemble. Same idea. You've got 50 different flavors of the ensemble. First off, September 2nd, we're starting, we see some support for something off the Texas coast. But then notice all the ensembles come alive, right? And you've got some significant ensemble support from about the eastern half of the Gulf to offshore. So that's why even if the deterministic models are coming down a little bit, we certainly are still seeing some ensemble support for development. Okay, and it fits into the time frame for an area that perhaps is going to be kind of like the eastern half of the Gulf of Mexico. Not demanding that that's going to happen, but it's there. So that's something to watch. Okay. Yeah. All right. Questions, comments? Roberto says, no, I need the 7th off. Don't you dare. Dude, I don't want to do any of this stuff. I want to sit here, sip coffee, and not have to do 12-hour forecast or 12-hour shifts. I'm not saying anything's hitting us. I'm just giving you the information. That's all. Lucas, what's your favorite ensemble flavor? Cat 6 dark chocolate? I do like dark chocolate. Like my soul. Yep. Yep. Frank says more of those go west. Oh, on the European versus the GFS? Yeah, we'll have to watch it for sure. So, a good reminder, right, that we are now really working into that peak of hurricane season. And there's been a lot of discussion as to why the season's been slower. Our WESH 2 hurricane season forecast called for a slightly above average season, but we discussed that the pattern historically that we're in really focused on a quiet season. But we didn't believe it would be a quiet season overall because names get thrown around a lot toward the end of the season. So we'll see how that plays out. But at any rate, here we are working right up there. Yes, I'm working. I need to hug you. You can slap hug me. Yes. Yes, you can. All right. So that's kind of where we're at. That's kind of where we're at tropically. Good times. Good times. Next name on the list, of course, is Francine. My mother's name, always a feisty thing. Good times. Good times. Good times. All right. All right. Questions, comments, concerns. We've got a nice, quiet setup for now. We've got stuff to watch in the tropics, perhaps. We've got Labor Day on the horizon. What else we got? Anything? Anything else? I've got nice hot coffee. Life is good. Went flying yesterday. I'll share. I have to share a picture. Let's see. Ba, 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 ba. So went down to Vero and hold on, I'll find the picture. And this was the view from the runway. Here, hold on. Landing in Vero, and you can see the downpour off in the distance. And so didn't stay in Vero for very long. Didn't stay for Vero for very long because of that. Here's another view, and you can see just the big downpour off in the distance. But got a chance. Look at that. Look at that downpour. Like that's so cool, right? I don't care who you are. The views from the air are just so cool. Then went offshore. There's the Kennedy Space Center and the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. Went offshore a little bit, take some nice pictures, and then went into the port. Got Port Canaveral, and then because hashtag nerd. Hold on. Had to get the bounce house. Had to. Don't judge. Don't judge. So good time. I can't believe we're talking about it, baby. Can't believe we're talking about it. Love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. That's why I love window seats when flying, Diane says. Right? Yeah. Love it. Can the GFS and Euro Ensemble models be merged to give an even bigger picture over 80 models in one run? Maybe, Jay. I don't have a way to do that, but I'm sure you probably could. You probably could, just like call it a super ensemble or something. I don't know. Eric says college football season, nothing like it. Truth, nothing like it at all. I love it so much. I love it so much. I'm dying for a hot cup of coffee, but my jaw's still limiting that. Patty, almost. It's almost time. It's almost time. How many storms do you think we'll have this year in your over 20 years of experience? Sean, I think we're still just clawing our way up. The preseason forecast that we put out called for a slightly above average season. I think it'll be pretty close to an average season. We'll have to see. You know, I, the data showed that it should have been a quieter season. Jeremy and I felt like by the end of the season they just start naming stuff. So we'll see how it shakes out. We're just not there yet. And I would just remind everyone it's not an exact science, right? Like weather is there's so much we know, so much we don't know, right? Right. Pat, good to see you. Thanks for hanging out with us over on YouTube. Good morning. Good morning. All right. Questions, comments, concerns, my friends. Do we have anything? Anything at all? Of course, we'll take a deeper dive in the tropics. Jeremy Nelson and I have our Tracking the Tropics broadcast at 10 o'clock today. We'll be discussing things there. Can you keep the storms away from Jamaica around September 12th? I'll do my best. As long as you know. Katie says excited for the first LSU game. That Dublin opener was a great game. That. I personally, I'm such a Norville fan that I was sad to see what happened to FSU. Is there a temperature trend chart? I'd like to know when on average temperatures get a little cooler. Lucas is asking. Well, so you mean locally? So here, let's take a look at month by month. So August. Here's the data. So August 1st, the average high is 92. By August 31st, the average high is 91. So there we are, right? September, we start to see movement. Ellie says was in Dublin for the FSU game, was heartbreaking. Oh man, I'm sorry. So there you go, right? Like we start to bring those temperatures down a little bit. October, okay? Watch the temperatures in October. That average temperature by the end of October is 82. I will say it gets hot as I feel like every single Halloween. November. Okay. Okay. Average high drops into the 70s in November. Okay. December. Average high by the end, 72. So there you go. There you go. Lucas, you're cracking me up. I get it though. I see your profile picture. Love those smiles. All right, people. That's what we got. So we're on the cusp. We're on the cusp of autumn starting. But it's like everything else. It's like dating. It's a slow burn. Well, it's like some dating. It's a slow burn. You go up to Maine and it's slap you right in the face with autumn. Go right into fall. Right into winter. Blah. In Florida, it's a slow burn. We're going to take it slow. Very slow. Bring on the cooler weather stat. You're going to go to Maine. All right. All right, people. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you. I will see you on TV for Wesh 2 News at noon and at 4 today, okay? Roberto will have slapped me by the time we see you for Wesh 2 News at 4. That'll be fun. Okay. Sound good? All right. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you so much for hanging out for Coffee Talk, y'all. Take